Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folari. You're probably aware of, maybe I shouldn't include the word raging, but there has been this debate following moves by about 60 representatives, 60 assemblymen, to promote the return to a parliamentary system of government. In that system of government, you usually have a prime minister, as opposed to the presidential system, reportedly borrowed from the United States of America, and it is what it is. At least everybody has been living under that system for a while. But it is now thought that perhaps there might be benefit in returning to a parliamentary system. The pros and the cons of that system, and why there is a need, why the debate now about whether or not to return to a parliamentary system. To examine that question with us, we have Honorable Wale Raji. Honorable Raji is the chairman of the House Committee on Sustainable Development Goals. Good morning to you this morning. Good morning, Honorable Raji. Yes, sir. Good morning, Honorable Raji. Thank you for making the time for us. Well, you and your colleagues are looking at the proposal, I think it is, to return to a parliamentary system of government. We have had experience in that form of government, and then we went on to the presidential system. First of all, perhaps we should get your understanding of why the question even came up at all.
Well, thank you very much, and good morning, Nigerians. Now, at independence, after a series of consultation, conferences involving the founding fathers of this nation, it was resolved that the country will adopt parliamentary system of government. And that was the system of government that was in operation until the unfortunate incident of 1966, when the First Republic was terminated by the military coup of 1966, led by Olusegun. Now, under the parliamentary system of government, we had the ceremonial presidency. I'm a president, and the prime minister as the head of government. It worked for us. Within the period, we recall the development, the progress that we made politically and economically, such that most times when we discuss, we usually refer to the good old days,
That's right.
So, but unfortunately, in the wisdom of the military administration that took over after the coup, at the time we were returning to the democracy in 1979, it was resolved. The Constituent Assembly that was put together then recommended a presidential system of government, which we have practiced over the years. And as of today, everybody complains about cost of governance, that this presidential system of government is not really working for us. And it is too expensive, for our democracy. And that is why it became necessary for us to come together to propose, return to the parliamentary system of government. And what we have done has been, to set the stage, for a national discussion on the way forward. But there is an agreement that the present system needs to be worked on. And in our own view, we feel that the return to parliamentary system of government will work better for us.
Now, thank you very much for that. Of course, as you said, to sort of, as it were, kickstart a sort of a general conversation, a general debate about it, the proposal that is being, advanced in the House of Reps, does it have, even if it is a temporary, a date of, a preferred date of commencement? Because if a lot of people are saying this presidential system isn't working, it is far too expensive, it is far too cumbersome, how much longer are we going to be in it to sort of endure it as a sort of a proposal?
Yeah. Well, in our own view, we feel that there will be a period of transition. I mean, it's not something that we'll just say that, we are looking at taking immediate effect. Because the president, the parliamentary system of government we are proposing will not only be limited to the national, the federal level.
That's right. Yes.
It will, at the state, right from the local government. And we are looking at a phased implementation, of the change, starting with the local government and to the state level, and then the federal. So to us, we feel that it may not, at the federal level, it may not be realizable, in 2027. So our target date is 2031,
All right.
So, but during this period, the implementation will commence right from the local government level up to the state, later to the state, and finally at the federal level. And in the course of, in the transition period, during this phase implementation, we can look, we will be able to assess, the challenges, whatever may come up, so that we can correct, along the line, So, but to answer your question directly, we are looking at the commencement date of 2031.
Okay. I'll take a pause at this stage to sort of play a report that went out earlier on this subject when the news first broke that the House of Reps was taking this proposal quite vigorously. This is the report.
In the twilight of the last assembly, a number of legislators pushed for a bill to move Nigeria from a presidential to a parliamentary system of government.
Today, we're here on behalf of 60 of us for a start.
As the sixth alteration to the Constitution beckons, a similar move is being spearheaded by more than 60 members. A number of bills to transit Nigeria to a parliamentary system of government at federal, state, and local governments form some of the constitution amendment bills that scaled first reading at Wednesday plenary. Some of the arrowheads of the initiative addressed parliamentary reporters. The sponsors say the proposed parliamentary system will save Nigeria a huge cost of governance.
Despite several alterations to the Constitution to address the shortcomings of a system that has denied the nation the opportunity of attaining its full potentials, among these imperfections are the high cost of governance, leaving fewer resources for crucial areas like infrastructure, education, and healthcare.
The lawmakers say there is the need to tone down the concentration at the center and limit the powers of the president.
Collapse of the First Republic and the long stretch of the military rule culminated into the adoption of a new system of government, theoretically fashioned after the presidential system of the United States, but in practice imbibed the utmost attributes of military rule. No wonder the Nigerian president appears to be one of the most powerful presidents in the world.
They also promised a transition period of between now and 2031.
We expect that the process may not necessarily terminate with the current administration. In actual fact, we expect that it will even go beyond 2027. But what is important is that we have set the ball rolling.
The parliamentary system of government replaces the president with a prime minister to serve as the head of government, as it establishes the office of the president as a ceremonial leader. It also shifts the process of electing governors and chairmen of local governments from general election to voting within their respective legislative bodies. Joke Yedsa, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, so that's a general background as given to us by Honorable Wale Raji earlier, and that was a report that went out a couple of days ago. Now, the House of Reps is speaking about imperfections in the current system, even though it has worked arguably perfectly for the United States, so much so that that is where they sort of borrowed it from. But then there's been a lot of talk about the Nigerian version, that is the Nigerian president under the presidential system being the most powerful president in the world. And then is it that diluting, if that is the word, the power of the presidency will have its benefit on other areas that have been mentioned, such as education, health, and even democracy itself, if we now go back to having a ceremonial president, such as we had in the First Republic?
What? Is that a question for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. The issue is that there is no system that does not have its advantages and disadvantages. But when we look at the pro and the con, everybody, has come to the realization of the fact that the present system is too expensive for us, and we need, to change, because particularly when the resources that we require for development, are being directed towards running government. So we believe that the parliamentary system is more democratic. It brings, there is openness, there is accountability, and also, the opposition, active opposition, because when you have, the prime minister will be elected, from the parliament,
Yes.
And if you look at the cost of presidential election, the national election, right from the seeking party primaries up to the actual election, the cost is huge, So, but to become the prime minister, all you need under the parliamentary system of government is to be elected by your constituents, to the House of Reps, and to become the president. All you need to do is get elected from your constituent senatorial district to the Senate, and it's from there that you get elected as the head of the leader of the majority party, and ultimately the prime minister. And
okay,
as the prime minister, you are still a member you are still a parliamentarian and a member of the House of Representatives. On a weekly basis, the prime minister will address the cabinet during the question time, that it will give the members opportunities to raise questions, of importance, national importance, and receive response,